1964, a 20-year-old Frenchman named Bernard Briscoe arrived in Beijing, China to work as an accountant in the French embassy. His first week were not what he had expected. Briscoe had grown up in the French province, dreaming of travel and adventure. When he had been assigned to come to China, images of the Forbidden City and of the gambling dens of Macau had danced in his mind. But this was communist China, and contact between Westerners and Chinese was almost impossible at the time. Briscoe had to socialize with the other Europeans stationed in the city, and what a boring and cliquish lot they were. He grew lonely, regretted taking the assignments, and began making plans to leave. Then, at the Christmas party that year, Briscoe's eyes were drawn to a young Chinese man in a corner of the room. He had never seen anyone Chinese at any of these affairs. The man was intriguing. He was slandered and short, a bit reserved, but he had an attractive presence. Briscoe went up and introduced himself. The man, Shi Pu, proves to be a writer of Chinese opera, libretto, who also taught Chinese to the members of the French embassy. Aged 26, he spoke perfect French. Everything about him fascinated Briscoe. His voice was like music, soft and whispery, and he left and wanting to know more about him. Briscoe, although usually shy, insisted on exchanging telephone number. Perhaps Pipu could be his Chinese tutor. They met a few days later in a restaurant. Briscoe was the only Western there, a lot taste of something real and exotic. Pipu, it turned out, had been a well-known actor in Chinese opera and came from a family with a connection to a former ruling dynasty. Now he wrote operas about the workers, but he said this with a look of irony. They began to meet regularly, Pipu showing Briscoe the side of Beijing. Briscoe loved his stories. Pipu talked slowly and even historically details seemed to come alive as he spoke, his hands moving to embellish his words. This, he might say, is where the last Ming emperor hung himself, pointing to the spot and telling the story at the same time. Or the cook in the restaurant, we just ate in once in the place of the last emperor, and then another magnificent tale would follow. Pipu also talked of life in the Beijing opera, where men often played women's part and sometimes became famous for it.